Hey guys, welcome back. I have another book review for you today. I hope that you guys are having a great 2021 or a good start to 2021. And I will go ahead and let you know that I've already had an okay start to 2021. I have actually read a couple books, and this is the first one that I've actually read fully in 2021 that is nonfiction. This book that we're going to be talking about this week is Mrs. Kennedy and Me. This is by Clint Hill. So Clint is a Secret Service agent, or he was a Secret Service agent, and he was on Jackie Kennedy's security detail. He was like the main Secret Service agent on her detail from the time that JFK got elected to like 1 year after he was assassinated and she left the White House. So in this book, he kind of details his time with Mrs. Kennedy, which is why it's called Mrs. Kennedy and Me. So he details his time with Mrs. Kennedy, and it's actually a really nice book. I think it is not gossipy, it is not nasty, it is not trying to be like extra and exciting or anything else. He is just telling you a story of his friendship. Honestly, with Mrs. Kennedy, he was there for everything. He was there for the birth of John Kennedy Jr. He was there for the birth and the death of Patrick Kennedy. He was there for the assassination, and he was there for all of the great things that happened to them in between, state dinners, trips around the world. He was there for everything. So I think that this is actually the nicest Kennedy biography that I've ever read. He is not nasty or catty about any of them. He is very kind. And I will say, because he worked with them so closely and because he considered like them his friends, he would not be wanting to say nasty things about them. So you do have to take that into consideration. If he did see anything that was like untold, or he saw anything that like he wasn't supposed to see, I don't think that he would want to mention it in this book. And that's okay, because we do have a lot of those really catty biographies out there. So this starts off in 1960, just after President Kennedy has won the election, and Clint Hill is like 28 years old. He's quite young, and he has been on Eisenhower's security detail. And he's told that he's going to be with Mrs. Kennedy. And he does not want that. He's very disappointed because he thinks, like, I'm just going to be going to the ballet and, like, going to lunch, and this is going to be awful. But he learns that that's not really the case, and he really starts to like and respect Mrs. Kennedy. He was actually, like, the second agent assigned to her, but eventually he got promoted to being the top agent, and he was able to pick a new agent to work with him. They go to Europe. Then they go to, like, the Middle East. They tour, like, Pakistan and India. And they also go to like Morocco. Like, they are on yachts. They're having a great time, honestly. But throughout all this, he's also with them every single day. Like, he's watching her ride horses. He's watching the kids learn how to ride horses, everything. And I think a big part of the book takes up the year 1963, which is the year that JFK is assassinated in Dallas. And I think this would be a sad part of any book to read, honestly. But it's so sad because Clint Hill's there. And he was in the follow-up car, or he was on the running boards of the follow-up car, and there was room in the presidential limousine for like Secret Service agents to stand on the back, but they didn't want that. So occasionally when the crowd got really thick, he would like run up to the back and hop on, because his job was to protect Mrs. Kennedy. But when they were in Dealey Plaza that day, he was on, and then he jumped back off, got back on the running boards, and that's pretty much when that first shot was fired. And he like ran to the car, and it's like, from what he was saying, he was literally a second too late to miss the shot that hit Kennedy in the head. And it's so sad. I read an interview where he said he still felt guilty about that, and he's like, I think 86 years old now. It was just really sad. But this book is really good. It's like very chatty, very conversational. He's telling you a story. It's not difficult to understand. It's not like it's written for someone that has like a lot of knowledge of the Kennedys or anything. He just kind of walks you through all of his time with the Kennedy family, and then a little bit after. And Clint Hill actually went on to work for Johnson, Carter, was it called Jimmy Carter, and Ford? I'm not sure. He worked for 5 presidents. I could be off slightly. And then he actually met Bill Clinton as well. So he had like a pretty big role in a lot of this. He's written, I think, 3 books now. But I just thought this was like a really nice, interesting, kind of intimate portrait of what family life was like for the Kennedys. It wasn't, they were doing this scandalous thing and JFK was running around and like affairs. That's not really that's not talked about at all. He does not get gossipy. He just like tells you stories, and sometimes he tells you and he's like, and I was just thinking like, this is ridiculous, I don't want to do it. Or I was thinking, oh my gosh, like I hope this doesn't happen, just all kinds of things like that. But he got to see the most private parts of the Kennedys' lives because he was just always with them. And he was, they had 2 Secret Service agents with Mrs. Kennedy and then 3 with the children. So he says in the acknowledgments of this that he used his own like notes and memories, but then those of Paul Landis, who was the second agent that was assigned to Mrs. Kennedy, and then the 3 agents that were assigned to the children. So you get like a lot of conversations and things that he might not have personally remembered, or just like little tidbits of information, but that the other agents had remembered that helped to add to his story, which I think is really nice. Like I said, I thought it was really good. He has been retired since I think 1975, sometime in the 1970s, and he had originally said that he was never going to write a book, and I think this one came out in 2012, and I think he has 2 more books. I think he wrote one about the day that Kennedy was assassinated and wrote another. I'm not 100% sure what he wrote the other one about. But I did like this book. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it. I thought that I might not enjoy it. I'm not really sure why I thought that, but I did, because I was thinking like, how interesting can a book that a Secret Service agent wrote really be? But I was wrong. I'm very happy to be proven wrong. I'm going to give this book 4 stars. I did not write that down, and I'm sorry. I usually have it over there, and I'm really sorry that I didn't. But yes, I'm going to give this book 4 stars. I thought it was really good. I think that he has a very, I'm not sure if maybe he used a ghostwriter, but he had a very like comfortable way of telling all of these stories. The chapter's not overly long. I picked this up at McKay's for like 75 cents. But I do know that you can probably order it off of Amazon. You can also get it on Kindle and iBooks. It is for like 8 years old now, 9 years old this year. So it is not going to be a super expensive book. You can probably also get this from your library if you're interested. I grabbed it because it was 75 cents, and I'm actually super glad that I did, because I ended up really enjoying it. This is the 3rd Kennedy biography that I have read recently. I read Bobby and Jackie, a love story, and then I read The House of Kennedy by James Patterson. So I've actually read a few Kennedy biographies lately, and this is one of my favorites just because it is not catty. Like I mean, we all like a little bit of drama, like realistically, but I have been reading a lot of somewhat catty books, so I'm pretty happy to have read a book where it's someone talking about like their friendships and someone talking about what real life was like, not a lot of the stuff that is just kind of like thrown out there in the press. And I think that it's really interesting as well to get some of those like private conversations and private moments and kind of see how life was really going for the Kennedys, not in the public eye. I think that that is what this book is best at. It tells you a little bit of insider information, and I think that's really cool. I 100% will recommend this book to you guys. I think that it's great. I think that you should definitely give it a chance if you can. And that is really all that I have for you today. I will be back next week, and I hope that you guys have a good week. Bye.